Hey, everybody. Hey, this morning I just got through posting an article by McKinsey. It's called Enterprise Agility. If you want to read this, I think it's well worth your time. Just search on mckinsey.com and do a search within that on Enterprise Agility, and you'll find it. It's very interesting, but I tell you, this is a subject that is just not new today. I remember back in the 80s talking about cross-functional teams. That's what we called it at the time. It doesn't just mean agility in the development of a product or manufacturing a product. It's pervasive across the whole organization. I want to talk more about that. But look, before we get started, I want to encourage you again to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where all of the videos that we do are stored away into playlists that are organized by certain subjects like entrepreneurship, sales, marketing, development, how to finance a company, and many, many more. All about entrepreneurship and all the disciplines of how to run a company. So subscribe now to the YouTube channel on YouTube. I look forward to seeing you there, and make your comments, ask your questions. When I go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, come on there and talk to me. Ask me questions. I'll do my best to answer them. But let's get into this subject of agility. So what this is all about is the agile organization has agility. Yeah, kind of logically follows, doesn't it? They really get things done. It's done by really great people. When you think of agility in the context of the way things get done in a company, I think of these 5 characteristics, and they're talked about in this article that I'm suggesting you take a look at. The first one is speed. Getting things done quickly, because decisions are made quickly. Development process runs efficiently. Manufacturing process runs efficiently. The transitions from marketing to sales to delivery and customer support are unified. And one logically follows the other. And everybody knows what role they play in the team. All of this leads to the speed of the organization. The flatness of the organization also has something to do with it, so you don't have multiple unnecessary layers of management. I'm not an advocate for killing all of middle management, don't get me wrong, but there's got to be some. But the organization has to be able to breathe and function and operate at light speed. Second characteristic is stability of the organization. It's built off of really, really great people. These teams are A-plus players. That's what you have to have in a company. So stability then leads to clarity of the roles they play. Everyone knows their job. They're well trained in it. They're well experienced in it. Remember, in a startup, we're getting A-plus players. That means they know the role that they're being brought into the company to play. So this is up from the farm team, maybe, but they really know what they're doing. Innovation is the fourth characteristic of agility, and that is innovation is allowed to bubble up from really, really smart people, whether it be development, new technologies for improving efficiency of whatever product or service you're performing, in manufacturing and customer support. Innovative things are allowed to bubble up and be implemented and decided upon quickly by small teams of people without having endless meetings to decide what to do next. The authority within the organization is delegated for certain people to decide upon certain levels of innovation, for example. The fifth one is discipline. Discipline. These people within the organization know what they're doing, and they operate with the discipline of process and know-how, communications, teamwork across every team and across all other teams within the organization. They're allowed to run. You know, the sixth characteristic, which is not in the article, that I think of is the people themselves. The people themselves make all of this happen. The trust they have with one another causes this to happen. That creates dynamic, speedy, stable, clear roles defined, innovation, discipline. All of this occurs if you've got great people in your organization to actually implement this. It's a must, quite frankly. So there you go. That's what agility means to McKinsey. And it makes a whole lot of sense to me, and I hope it does to you. Even this article is written in the context of large corporations. Translated into your small business, And if you start your company with these principles in mind, where you got 4 or 5 people as a startup growing to 25 within a year and a half or so, if you instill these characteristics into the teams that you build and cause this kind of teamwork to occur, and it will grow as your company scales to be a much larger group of people. So that's what agility means to me. So what that leads to is an operating model, the way you do business, that's kind of broken down into another 5 characteristics that are important to have a really strong agile team. First of all, there's got to be a strategy for the company, a business strategy I'm thinking of, and an operational strategy for the company. And that is a series of things that have to get done at certain times over the course of a year and a half. So you've got an operational strategy to have all the teams across the company doing some fundamental things that are part of your operational plan. Everybody's operating to a plan, yet not restricted to be innovative and bring new ideas to the table that would enhance that operating plan or in some way change the plan. In other words, there's a purpose to the company that is underlying all of this. A purpose-driven company is one who's not only got a mission that they all kind of buy into, but there's a purpose as to what you're trying to do for customers. And every team and every person across the company has this in mind and what teamwork means. Therefore, there's structure. Now, the structure of companies could be put together in quite a few different ways, but it has to be resilient, and I'll use the word agile enough to start forming teams, execute a project, and disband, and other teams that come online later or over time to take on key projects. What am I talking about? I'm a developer at the core of me, so I'm thinking of development teams. A new release is a team bringing in of a new function or new enhancement to a release. I'm thinking of manufacturing and the improvements of the manufacturing process, the installation of new equipment and new processes. That's a team of people that put that in place in the first place. The marketing to sales transition is a form of teamwork. Customer service is another form of teamwork where you're dealing with key customer issues that you put together quick teams that operate within a day or 2 or 3 to solve a customer problem. Bam, team comes into place, they get together, understand the problem, solve it, disband, and get back to other teams that they're part of. So I'm trying to give you a flavor for the quickness and of how agile teams kind of work. But the structure is probably that the company is organized by disciplines: development, manufacturing, marketing, sales, customer support. And the projects cross all of those lines, depending on the project, were teams of people led by really great people to pull together a project that requires certain people from certain parts of these functional teams. So that's kind of how this operates. This concept is not new. So this whole use of the term agile is a new term, but the concept of how to operate this way is as old as I can remember. I remember having team structures like this even back in the 1980s and 1990s, where we tried to do cross-functional teams, is what we called it. And we had management structures that would allow for that. All of this, though, the third element of the operating model is that there's a process, and it's fast. It allows quick decision making. The fourth operating model characteristic is really great people, dynamic people, innovative people, people who have good ideas and can communicate them well. They're good communicators as well as being good leaders. So that fourth element is people, people, people. Finally, they're allowed to use the best enabling technology, enabling for process tracking, for metrics data collected, and the review of those metrics to enable further improvement. So they're allowed to bring on the latest enabling technologies. And at the end of it all, There are metrics that measure all of these 5 characteristics of the operating model of the company. And all of this leads to outcomes. The operating model and the agility of the organization itself, the outcomes are really, really strong employee engagement. They all understand their mission. They're empowered by the management of the company. They know their jobs. They're really great people. They're allowed to engage with one another as they see fit because they know how to get things done. They know who to go to get it done and pull together quick teams to focus on a particular project. And this is usually, short-term projects, a day or two, a week or two, maybe a month or two. The major releases of a piece of software and the development of a new piece of hardware, that's probably a year or more in development. There may be a whole department that is permanent for that. But the employee engagement is one of the most outstanding outcomes of an agile organization. What happens then? You have great customer satisfaction because you're delivering stuff on time, perhaps faster than you ever have before if you were in an agile organization in the first place. You're superior to your competitors. The customer journey, what I mean by that, from the time they're first engaged by the marketing organizations, it's sold to by the sales organization, and the product and or services are delivered over a period of time. And over that same period of time and beyond, the customer support they receive from your customer support team is extraordinary. And they think it's extraordinary. And you get great customer satisfaction results when you ask them what do they think of your company. You may do a customer survey once a year, tops probably twice a year, and you want to see that improve over time. So you'll have metrics to measure customer satisfaction. It's what you're producing out of all this agility. Great products that they're satisfied with. The final one is operational performance. Remember I said earlier the importance of speed and how fast you should be able to operate with the best people you can find. The faster you go without making a whole lot of mistakes, because you've got great people executing on these teams, is going faster and more efficiently. Your achievements in terms of meeting your metrics are going to be extraordinary because you've got the best people doing this with a process that's well proven, done by teams of people that trust one another and they know how to communicate with each other. And because they're working so well as a team, they think ahead to what has to be done to make sure people know what's coming and how we're doing. Teamwork is occurring without a whole lot of management involvement. It's done by teams of people. Therefore, how you get things done is more predictable. So when you talk to a customer and you tell them about this next release of the product that's coming along, whether it's software or hardware, whatever it is, or some improvement in your support organization that's going to be coming online, that when you plan for the development and the staffing of all of these projects, you have a greater confidence of being able to predict when you're going to get it done. So predictability increases. So that's all of it. So what does this all mean? You got these great outcomes. It means you got extraordinary teamwork across your company. Teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. So when you have people that are put on teams, done quickly, done with agility, and they know each other, they trust each other, boy, oh boy, things get done efficiently, quickly, with quality, with enthusiasm, with the customer in mind. And I could name 9 other things as how good teams are, but I think you've got the point. All of this spells great teamwork. So there you have it. Built on trusting relationships, the teamwork I've been talking about. Pride in your mission. You're proud of your company. You're proud of what you do. You're satisfied with your job because you're getting satisfaction and winning because you've got a winning attitude. So keep this all in mind as you start your company and as it grows. Let it be built on strong teamwork and with the agility necessary to be fast on your feet and be so responsive to your customers, they're never going to want to work with any other company but yours. With that, have a great day.